right, what is up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of The Drip, where we're going to be talking about fashion, creativity, arts, rappers. We're going to be interviewing some cool people, so definitely stay tuned. I'm with my good friend. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Hey, what's up? It's Suede Tyrell. I'm a rapper, published model, and saxophonist.
Yeah, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Jibs. I'm the host. We had a couple technical difficulties. My pastor ain't want to press record, but it's all right. We're going to go on. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Okay, so as you know now, I am a rapper, published model, and saxophonist. I've been doing this for about 10 years. As far as the music side, I've been doing it 10 years. As far as modeling, I've only been doing that for like 2 years. I kind of got asked to do that.
Oh, wow, for real?
Yeah.
So who'd you go through for modeling? How did you get discovered for that? Because you kind of got to promote yourself when you don't really have a brand or you're just starting out. So how'd that go down?
All right, so I'm going to tell you guys a story, okay? So look, it was the summer of 2019, okay?
Pre-COVID.
Right. Pre-COVID, great times, the golden age. Graduating year 2019, let's get into it. Anyway, I was trying to release a song at the time, and I was shooting cover art for it. So I decided it would be a good idea to probably release some photos from the cover art. So I released it on Instagram. I just did a couple behind the scenes photos and stuff, right? Nothing big, right? So I woke up the next day. Tell me why those pictures were everywhere. I was like, what?
You feel like somebody stole my identity.
Right, pretty much. Like those pictures were everywhere. Everyone was sharing it, liking it, hearting it. Like it was everywhere. And then about a week later, it got into the hands of this modeling agency called LaFran Management. They're based in Boardman. Okay. And when they seen it, they absolutely loved it. They contacted both me and the other person who was in the photo shoot if we can be part of a fashion show for a charity event for the rescue mission in downtown Youngstown. Yeah, there was a charity event for that to raise money for the mission to keep it going and everything. So I said, well, I don't see why not. I guess so. So that's how it all started. But I wasn't signed. I wasn't signed till 2 years later when I was supposed to go out to LA to sign with Wilhelmina, but that didn't end up happening. And the person who shot my digitals for Wilhelmina actually had his own agency, and he signed me instead. His name was Tay Stubbs. So now I'm part of his team. Okay. And
I mean, that's kind of cool because what happens is a lot of people try and get in the industry for like modeling and acting and singing and all that stuff, and you just kind of stuck your foot right in without even knowing it. I
wasn't even trying to do modeling. That was the whole thing. I wasn't even trying to do it. I was trying to release a song. Like what?
I mean, that's cool how it all played out. I know it might be hard to believe, but your boy did a little modeling and everything.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I did. So not really. I ain't really mind. But I'm from Jersey currently, and so, the fashion and the culture up in Jersey and New York is kind of similar because it's a half-hour train ride away, and so fashion is, obviously, like everyone knows, fashion is a big thing in New York City. And so were you kind of scared about, scamming? What were your thoughts and feeling about going into it? Because you kind of went into it a little blind.
I did go into it blind, but I did have people to direct me. Okay. For one, when I showed up to the rehearsals for my first fashion show, I actually ran into some people that I already knew. Okay. So I actually ran into the person who would be my manager a couple years later, Tay Stubbs. He was modeling for the same event. I was like, bro, Tay, you here? He was like, yeah. Like, you doing this too? Yeah. So he actually helped guide me along. And then there was this director there that was really interested in me. I was modeling for him for about a year. I was never signed with him though, so I was free to leave whenever I wanted to. Yeah. So, it's always good to have direction as
you definitely got to be able to, as much of a leader as you are and everything, you got to definitely be able to take guidance and learn how to be taught. You got to be coachable. So how has this helped you, in other aspects of your life?
How would modeling help me?
Yeah, modeling, or just, being promoted.
I guess modeling would have helped me. Actually, modeling did help me boosts confidence for sure. Because to be a model, you actually have to walk with confidence.
Yeah.
You have to pose with confidence. Everything about modeling all comes from the core of confidence. So
Yeah.
if you don't have that, it's kind of hard to do your job.
Yeah.
You know?
So do you feel like your personality is naturally confident? How do you feel like
No.
you don't you don't compliment your personality doesn't compliment, you know?
My
somewhat.
personality before modeling,
Yeah.
I was insecure.
You were insecure and shy?
Yeah.
What were you insecure about?
Insecure.
About to get real nitty gritty.
Whoa,
About to
insecure.
get hot seat. Hot seat.
Hot seat, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real topic, you know, because a lot of people, you know, kind of portray these things on social media where they're living this one lifestyle and getting all these likes, but they're running to social media to fill a void that they have in themselves. So, you know, it's definitely good to be aware of what you're insecure about so that you can kind of help God help you, you know?
As far as my insecurities, I was always afraid of being right or wrong. I was always afraid of that. And part of that was instilled in me by the old church I used to go to. Yeah. And then also, some people that were really close to me growing up didn't really support what I was trying to do. So, and my goal early in life was to always please these certain people.
People pleaser.
Yeah, right. And I just wasn't able to do that.
Yeah.
So
who is like your core group of supporting people who you can always count on, lean on, go to for advice, who's gonna support you in the right way, so tell you when you're, you know, not doing something right or where you could be doing something better? Who's your core group?
I would say my producer, David McKinney, and then I would also say Antoine Howard.
Antoine,
Sure.
Unc, shout out
That
Unc.
boy Unc,
Shout
man.
out Unc.
Hey, that boy Unc,
Shout out
he's
Unc.
smooth, dog.
Yeah, so how have they helped you, you know, become the person who you are during this whole journey?
They helped me with spiritual growth for sure. They've helped me realize some wrongs that I didn't even realize were wrong. They helped me correct those. And we were just a really tight friend group my junior year of high school. I transferred high schools from Warren JFK to Harding. And those were all in band too, so we were always making music together, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My silencer, my ringer is off. My ringer is off. But so who do you look up to in the industry for rap? Who's your favorite rapper?
My favorite rapper. Whoa.
Getting real secular here, so.
Okay. So I would say J. Cole.
J. Cole.
And I would definitely say J. Cole, because for one, he raps about a lot of
Like real stuff,
a
like
lot
real
of real
life
stuff, for sure. Yeah, and he's probably one of the most authentic rappers I know. And I keep authenticity at the core of what I do,
Yeah.
for sure. So he's been a great role model in what I really want to pursue in my career going forward.
Yeah. So how do you see the role model that you have in J. Cole in your music? How has that influenced your music?
Well, I would say that after hearing from other people, most people say that I sound mostly similar to J. Cole, but at the same time, like, no, because I kind of do have my own style.
Yeah, you do.
I've always had my own style.
Yeah.
And as far as me rapping, I never always kept one style. I would always switch it up. I always switch it up.
Yeah.
That's my signature, switching it up, for sure.
So how important is it to remain authentic in what you're doing, and how do you feel like you have grown spiritually, or how has growing spiritually helped you maintain the authenticity that you have in your lifestyle?
It helps me stick to my core values, for sure.
For sure, for sure. It's definitely important to be the same person, you know, on camera as off camera, because, I mean, you just got to match the lifestyle wherever you are.
Right.
You know, so.
Can't be a hypocrite, don't do it.
Can't be a hypocrite. Can't be a hypocrite. So who do you model after for fashion? Do you have your own, do you feel like your fashion sense is set apart, or do you feel like you kind of have somebody who you look to be like, I like that style, let me pick and choose?
So as far as role models in fashion, I would say Brent Fayez. I would say Gold Link. I would say my manager, Tate Stubbs. I would also say my dad. And that's pretty much it as far as that. Other than that,
Your dad got some drip?
Yeah,
Drippy.
yeah. He used to be drippy back in the day.
Back in the day, back in
That
the
shit was
90s.
'98. Oh yeah, that boy was smooth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, mine is probably for fashion. Probably Young Thug has a good fashion sense, and it's cool to see like rappers like Hollywood and pre-fame versus now because they're stepping into like who they truly are. And I feel like as creators, because I'm a creator myself, I feel like who you are stepping into that journey versus who you are like towards the end or in the middle as you peak, it definitely changes. So mine is probably Young Thug, Cam Newton. Who else has good fashion sense? I don't know. I feel like I've definitely, molded into my own being as, somebody who likes fashion and creating my own clothes and stuff and just, trying to be different. So how do you feel like you've differentiated yourself as a creator?
I never really had to differentiate myself because I was always different. I knew that since kindergarten.
Yeah.
I would act a certain way, and then my friends would act a different way. I always knew that. Sometimes I would receive positive comments about that, like, Corey, you're so creative, or, this, and that. And other times it was negative comments, like, you should really stop doing that. You know?
So how have you filtered out what voices to listen to and how to go about the negative voices versus the voices where, I guess, criticism, kind of comes in?
Criticism. Really, you have to be real with yourself. So if someone gives you negative feedback and it's for a constructive reason, you should probably take that negative feedback. Like you need to work on this, you need to work on that. This isn't where it needs to be. You should really take that into perspective, and you should fix yourself. And as far as positive, I always take that, but it's positive.
Yeah.
Come on.
So do you have any tips for anybody watching, anybody tuning in, if they're thinking about getting into modeling, if they're thinking about putting their music out on streaming platforms, any influencers, what do you suggest for them?
Okay, I got a couple tips for y'all. For one, the first thing you should really do is build a small team of, I would say, about 5 to 6 people. And I would say have 1 or 2 of those people be somewhat business oriented, because there's a lot of business involved with music. That's how you really build your career. Like, it's one thing just to do music for self-expression, which is always important. That's the #1 reason you should do music, But if you want to build a solid career, it's vital to have that business aspect into it as well. So as far as the marketing, the advertising, even accounting, because you have to see if you make a profit. That's, it's basic rules.
So you study marketing at YSU?
Yes.
So how has that helped with what you do?
Oh, it helps in everything. Everything.
If you don't market yourself, just like if you own a brand or a company or anything, if you don't market yourself, especially nowadays, like back then you have flyers and you had billboards and ads and stuff. Now you have social media, you have Instagram, Snapchat. I don't even know what else platforms there are to promote yourself. But if you don't promote yourself, then you're kind of putting money into, things that are just going to be laying around. So, So what's your favorite aspect of what you do?
My favorite. I love being creative. I like creating whatever I want, when I want. It's a very free, self-expressive lifestyle.
So how would you say, explain your creative process with writing a song. How do you go about that? How do you set the mood?
Okay, so I would listen to one song, and then while I'm listening to this one certain song, I'll hear something totally different, and then I'll use what's totally different and make something different. And as far as my writing process, I'll write for a day, and then won't touch it for a week.
You gotta come back to it.
I do a lot of that.
How long do you feel like writing. Do you feel like it takes you a long time to write down something because of the meat that's in the? Because you're not just writing anything.
No.
I've heard you rap, and so you're not talking about the same things that everyone else is rapping about. So that's dope, bro. So tell us about how you promote your music and what it looks like to be on a scene of a music video. Because you have my boy Didi in the music
I
video.
sure did. Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah.
I was trying to get him to walk, but that's a work in progress. We'll get him together.
Giving him that good criticism. Yeah.
Right. We'll get him together. But as far as creating a music video, that was probably one of the toughest things I did.
Yeah, why is that?
Why was that? Because for one, there's coming up with the money for a music video, okay? There's that. Once you have that, there was so much planning involved, so much. And when you do your first music video, like your very first one, there's a lot of people at first that say, okay, I love to be in your music video, but then give them a week. They fold so quick, bro.
Fold,
bro.
cold feet.
You know some laundry, bro? Like, they fold like that. Oh, my gosh.
Listen, if you out there and your boy asks you, because everyone wants to be like, oh, bro, let me model for you, let me be in your music video, and then
the day before,
hour before, laundry.
Right.
Laundry. Don't have laundry friends. Don't be laundry.
Don't be laundry.
So how do you? It's hard getting the funds for that, and then you also, you have a busy life. You have work, you have school, you have, your creative lifestyle. So is it hard to come up with the funds for that as somebody who's getting on their feet and, getting their feet wet in the industry?
Okay, so as far as contributions to my career, it's not that hard for me. I make enough to finance it. However, as far as the business side of it, it's been hard for me to make an income off of that.
Yeah.
It is. It's very hard in the beginning to do that because no one knows who you are, for sure, and it's hard getting shows in the beginning. It's hard getting streams. It's so hard getting streams.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Yeah. So how do you deal with, you're really excited to put a song out. You're really excited to, show what you've been working on, and then how do you deal with not seeing the fruit of what you were, putting out there into the world?
Well, you have to be patient for one, but then you also have to look at your results and see where you did wrong, what you can do better, and formulate a strategy based on that. Get outside help for sure, because it's definitely going to take more than one person to get your career pushed forward the way you want it to. Yeah.
So, dealing with patience and God and everything is definitely all in God's plan and God's hands, really. And so how do you feel like your faith has grown with seeing where you are in the industry and seeing who you are as a musician or actor or model? How do you feel like God plays a role in, how do you feel like you put God in the middle of everything?
I always go to God for sanity, because it's a lot that I have to do in order to do this career successfully and still maintain good grades at college and still show up to work on time and do that correctly as well. So at the end of the day, I always pray every morning, in the middle of the day, and then at night. I always do that. And then I always try to find time to read the Bible. I need to find more time to read the Bible for sure. And then I also go to church once a week.
Yeah. Well, hats off to you, bro. It's hard having a busy lifestyle, especially at your age, doing everything that you're doing, but we hope and pray that, it all comes to fruition and God's promises, man. So that wraps up the first episode of The Drip. We're so glad that you guys have tuned in, and wait for the next episode. It's going to be dope. Thank you, guys.